Right, okay, how exciting. So many people this evening. Love it. So, obviously we've got a couple of new people this evening. So if there is anything that doesn't suit your body, then don't do it. If you need to rest, that's absolutely fine. I will check in on you all at the end as well, just in case you've got any questions or if they're, just to make sure you're all okay. Your body, you know it best, and I can't see you all when we're teaching in this manner. So make sure that you listen to your body and do what serves you best. I will give options as we go through anyway. So tonight's class is all based around equilibrium and expansion. So when we're in the various poses, really looking at how we can ensure there's a bit of equilibrium in the body. So if we're doing a bend, for example, that we're concentrating on the front of the body as much as we are on the back. And just trying to expand into every pose. So we're just going to start in an easy seat. So come onto your mats, whatever is an easy seat for you, whether that is on your knees or cross-legged, maybe sitting on a block or a book or a cushion. And we'll start tonight with alternate nostril breathing. So just having your hand like you're hanging loose. We'll cover the left nostril with the thumb. Take a nice big inhale through the right nostril. Exhale through the right nostril. And then switch the little finger to cover the right nostril and inhale through the left. Exhale out through the left. Switch. Inhale through the right. Exhale out through the right. Switch. Inhale through the left. Exhale out through the left. Switch. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the right. Switch to the other side. Inhale. Exhale. Switch to the other side. Inhale. Exhale. Good. We'll do the same again, but this time the inhale and exhale will be through opposite nostrils. So cover the left nostril. Inhale through right. Switch. Exhale. Inhale. 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 Switch. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Switch. Exhale. Excellent. Then let the hand come back down to your lap. This time just moving with the breath as we move our arms, inhaling the arms up above our heads. And then exhale, bringing them down through the center of the body today. Inhaling them up to the sides. Exhaling down through center. Inhale up through the sides. Exhale down through center. Inhaling up through the sides. Exhale down through center. Inhaling up. exhale down through center. Excellent, last one. Inhale, nice and slowly. Biggest inhale you've done all day. Exhale, really slowly and smoothly. Excellent. This time, inhale the arms up above the head. As you exhale, turn around towards the left, gently warming up the spine. Inhale up through center. And then exhale, gently come down and twist to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist right. Inhale up through center. Exhale. Inhale up through center. Exhale. Good. Inhale up through center. And then exhale, let the hands come down by your sides. So this time, inhale the left arm up above your head. And then bend at the elbow and let the hands drop down behind you. If that's enough for you, stay there. If you'd like to take it a bit further, bring the other hand on top of the elbow and just tease that elbow down the back. If it's in your practice and you want to take a bind, drop the right arm behind you and then grasp the hands behind your back into cow face arms. Whichever is in your practice today, do what serves you best. 3 deep breaths in this position. Excellent. Release the bottom arm off, stretch the top arm up and bring it down to the side. Then take the opposite arm up. Really reaching through the fingers, bend to the elbow and drop it down the back. If you want the first option, stay here. Second option, bring the other hand on top of the elbow and tease that hand down the back, trying to keep that elbow open towards the sky. If it's in your practice and you want to take the bind, take the other arm around and grasp the hands between your shoulder blades. 3 deep breaths here. Excellent. Release those arms off. Bring the top arm back down by the side and coming out of your easy seat, come around and into tabletop position, so onto all fours. Ideally, you want your wrists below your shoulders, but any tightness in the wrists at all, take the hands forward slightly to take the pressure out of the wrists and really press down through the finger pads. Really thinking about having an equal stretch down the front and back of the body. As we inhale, let the sit bones come up, the belly goes down, shoulders press away from the floor, look up. As you exhale, curve the tailbone under, arch through the spine, drop the head. Inhale as we come down, really trying to make the movements equal along the front and back of the body. And then exhale as we go up into cat. Inhale as we come down into cow. Really pushing the floor away, gently looking up. And then exhale, really pull the core in, tuck the tailbone under. Inhale as we come down. And then exhale as we go up. Inhaling as we come down and exhaling as we go up. Good. Coming back to center, take the right leg out behind you, cross it over the left leg and allow the toes to come down towards the floor. And then keeping that length in the spine, curve your spine around and look towards those toes. Really breathing into the side body here. Nice deep breaths. Excellent. Bring the head back to center. Bring the leg back to center and bring the knee down to the mat. Then take the other leg out behind you. Stretching the leg out first, then crossing it over and bringing the toes down towards the floor. Then keeping length within the spine, curve around and look towards those toes. Should really feel this stretch down the side body. Excellent. Nice big deep inhales, deep into the lungs. Then on the next inhale, bring the head back to center. And on the exhale, lift the leg and bring the knee back to the mat. Excellent. Tuck the toes underneath and gently lift the knees up off the floor. To start with, just staying in this position, really pressing the floor away with the fingertips and the palms, really pressing into the floor with the toes, and the knees are just a couple of inches off of the floor. Nice big inhale here, really firing up the core, pulling in all of those core muscles, and then take the hips up towards the ceiling into our first down dog, and start encouraging the heels down towards the floor as we're in our down face dog. Just getting a nice stretch through those calves and through those hamstrings. Really trying to take the chest towards the thighs, so we have a nice long line from our wrists all the way up to our sit bones. Doesn't matter how bent the legs are, as long as you have that nice long line from your wrists to your sit bones and a bit of bounce in the pose. We don't want to be too rigid. Good. Nice big inhale here. Maybe come right up onto the tiptoes. And then as you exhale, encourage those heels down towards the floor, bending the knees if you need to. On the next inhale, come up to the toes and take the left leg up towards the ceiling. Nice big inhale here. And then on the exhale, really squeeze that knee in towards your chest. Bring it all the way forwards in between the front hands. Really grounding down through the feet here. So pressing down through the front foot. Making sure the knee is above the ankle so your joints are stacked. Pressing down through the balls of the back foot. Pull the core in. Pull the inner thighs towards one another. Then inhale your arms up into warrior one. Really thinking about strength in this pose. The legs are really solid, feet pressing into the ground. Knee above the ankle means from here you can see your toes in front of the front knee. Stretch out through that back leg, encouraging the heel towards the ground to give you more strength in the pose. Zip in and up through the core, really lengthening through the spine as the fingertips reach towards the ceiling. Excellent. Nice big inhale here. On the exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Take a nice big inhale here, squeezing the inner thighs towards one another. And then exhale, bring the knee down towards the floor and untuck the toes. So we come into low lunge. So again, thinking about this length through the spine. Inhale the arms up above our heads. And this time, go beyond vertical, so we're coming into a gentle back bend. Really opening the chest towards the ceiling. You want to make sure you've got length in that lower back, not dumping into the lower back. Really using the core to lift out. Take whichever hands are comfortable to you. If you're comfortable with your hands shoulder width, that's fine. If you'd rather have your hands together, equally, do what works for you. Nice big inhale here, really expanding the chest. And then exhale, come back up and float the hands down to frame the front foot. Keeping the right hand on the ground, inhale the left one up to the ceiling. Nice big circles through the shoulder. 3 circles one way. And then take those circles in the other direction for 3. Once you're done, stop at the top and then use your core to lift you up onto the fingertips of the bottom hand. So the stretch from the top fingertips to the bottom fingertips is equal. Really pressing the knee and the foot into the ground. Your head can either be looking down or looking up, whichever is most comfortable for you. Nice big inhale here. Exhale, windmill that hand down to frame the front foot. Tuck the back toes and lift up off the back knee and step the back foot, front foot even, back. I was bound to get confused at some point. Okay, so back in our down face dog. Take a few deep breaths here. And if you need to rest at this point, you can always come down into child's pose and take your breaths in child's pose. It's up to you. 3 really deep breaths. Moving if you need to move, wiggle and jiggle wherever your body feels like it needs it. If you're down here in child's pose, tuck the toes and come up into downward facing dog, and we'll do the other side. So to start with, inhale the right leg up towards the ceiling, coming onto the tiptoes of the left foot. As you exhale, really squeeze that knee in towards the chest and then step that foot forwards. So the foot is coming in between the hands. Really ground down through the toes, really ground down through the front foot. Make sure the knees are above the ankle, pull the core in, pull the inner thighs towards one another and float the arms up into warrior 1. Make sure you can see your toes in front of the front knee. Really lengthen through the back leg, encouraging the heel towards the ground. Make sure your shoulders are stacked above your tuck ribs and nice big inhale. On your exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Nice big inhale here. Then on your exhale, bring the knees slowly down to kiss the floor and untuck the back toes. Going into our back bend. So again, first of all, lifting up out of the waist. Inhale the arms up above the head, sinking down through the hips slightly, and then open the chest towards the ceiling, as if I had a broomstick in your middle back and you're trying to lift up and over that broomstick, really lengthening the spine. Nice big inhale. On your next exhale, pull the core in and come back up, float the hands down towards the mat. Keeping the left hand on the mat this time. Inhale the right arm up towards the ceiling. And then let's do 3 circles through that shoulder. Really big circles. And then once you've done 3 in one way, take them in the other direction. Excellent. Then once those 3 are done, really reach up through those top fingertips. Come onto the fingertips of the bottom hand and make that stretch equidistant from fingertips to fingertips. Really pulling that core in, making the pose strong. And then exhale, float that hand back down to the mat. Ground down through both hands. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee and step back to downward facing dog again. Excellent. Here you can either take a short rest in child's pose or come forward into plank and we'll move through our first vinyasa. There's always choices, so either knees, chest, chin, cobra, or keeping the elbows in, come forward and down through chaturanga and then into upward facing dog with the legs engaged. Whichever you chose, come back down to the mat, tuck the toes, take the hips back towards the heels, and if you're in child's pose, join us to come back up into downward facing dog. Excellent, couple of breaths here. And again, move your dog in whatever way you need to move it. Then looking forward, take a bend in the knees and either step, walk, wiggle, or jump towards the front of the mat, landing nice and lightly. Inhale into a halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. And then inhale all the way up to the top. Exhale, hands back to heart center. Good. Just playing with that openness in the chest now. Really take your hands behind the back. If you can't grasp your hands behind the back, you can use a belt or a scarf or a jumper that you may have discarded already, or a tea towel if you're in the kitchen like me. And essentially, all we'll do is feet hip width distance, keeping the legs nice and long and strong, just bending from the hips halfway, so we come into like a upside down L, and then stretch those hands up to open through the chest and open the shoulders, keeping really, really, really long. Nice big inhale here, and then on the exhale, go a bit further and come into a forward fold, allowing the hands to come over as far as your practice allows. Really concentrate on moving those shoulders back and allowing the chest to be really open. Nice big inhale here. It's really good for lengthening out the lower back. But any pain, then bend your knees and rest your belly on your upper thighs. Then imagining that I've come around and grasped your hands, you're going to use that support that I'm giving you from your hands to lift yourself all the way back up to the top. And then let the arms come down. Good. Keeping the feet hips width or even wider, whatever makes you feel most stable. We're going to think about doing a gentle back bend. So it's much, much more important to think about form doing a back bend than to go too deep. So if we do a back bend that goes too deep, you end up dumping all of the pressure into the lower back, and we want to try and create a bit of space there. So we'll inhale the arms up above the head, and to start with, just look up. So really trying to reach those fingers up towards the ceiling, really squeeze those elbows into the side of the head, or the upper arms into the side of the head, and just gently look up with the eyes. Again, we want to keep length in the back of the body while we're stretching the front of the body. So imagine the whole spine reaching up and then gently bending back slightly with the chest opening to the ceiling. Maybe tuck the tailbone under slightly, make sure the legs are engaged, and then maybe you can go a tiny bit further. But really think about length. Pull the core in and gently come back up. Bring the arms down by your sides. Take a nice big inhale. Moving to the side body, same thing. Feet hip width or slightly wider apart. Really get your setup correct first. So tuck the tailbone under, make sure the shoulders are above the ribs or above the hips. Then inhale the arms up above your head. Really stretching up through the fingers and squeezing the upper arms onto the sides of the head. Pull the core in, really lift up out of the waist, and then lift up and over towards the left, as if you were sandwiched between two pieces of glass. Really keep that top armpit open towards the ceiling, so you're exactly in alignment. Feel the space down the left-hand side of your body, as much as that side is curved, making sure we're lifting out of the waist. Nice big inhale here, On the exhale, pull the core in and come back to center. Nice big inhale again. Really lift up through those fingertips, squeeze the arms into the side of the head, and then gently bend over to the other side. Again, armpit open towards the ceiling, really pulling the core in, making yourself really strong in this position. Equal amount of effort on both sides of the body. Lifting up and over. Excellent. One more breath here. And then pull the core in, come back to center, and exhale the arms down. Well done, guys. Really good. Okay, coming towards the top of your mat. Inhale the arms up above the head. And then exhale, fold forward, bending the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, fold forward again, bending the knees. Step back with the left leg, ground down through the heel this time. So your front heel should roughly be in line with the middle of your back foot. Your back foot can be at whatever angle suits your back leg. Keeping the knee above ankle on the front leg, windmill the arms up to warrior two, and look out over the front fingertips. Take a nice big inhale here. Trying to make sure that every bone and muscle of the body is included in how you are doing this pose. Is there any way you're hanging out that you can engage? Is there any way you can make the pose stronger? Flick the front palm, and as you take a nice big inhale, look up towards the ceiling and reverse your warrior. As you exhale, come forwards, take the right elbow to the right knee, and take the top arm over into extended side angle. Inhale as we go back up, really looking up towards the ceiling, keeping the hips nice and low, and then exhale as you come forwards. Inhale as we go back up into reverse. And then exhale as you come forwards, reach the top arm over. Excellent. Inhale this time back up to warrior two. Back into our strong warrior pose. Gazing out over the front fingers. Stretching out through the fingertips. Letting the shoulders relax down the back. Hips sinking low. Front knee above the ankle, you should still be able to see your toes. Pull the core in, try and get a bit of length in the spine. Really press down through the feet. Nice big inhale. On the exhale, windmill the hands around, twist onto the toes of the back foot, bring the hands down to the mat, and step back to downward facing dog. Have a little stretch in downward facing, in whichever way your body wants to go this evening. Then take a nice big inhale as you come forwards into your plank. So either you can do chaturanga down dog, chaturanga up dog, or bring the knees to the floor, bring the chest and the chin to the floor, and then slide through into cobra. Nice big inhale here. Really lengthening down the front of the body, stretching the chest between the arms. Exhale, come back down to the mat, tuck the toes, keep the knees on the floor, and take the hips up so they're above the knees. Nice big inhale up with the right arm, and then we'll bring that arm through and thread the needle so we come all the way down onto our shoulder and side of the head. And then expand your pose, so taking the left arm up towards the ceiling, really expanding out through the shoulder. Nice big inhale here. Nice big exhale here. Another big inhale. Exhale, bring the top hand down in front of your face on the mat and push up through that arm to come back to all fours. Then tucking the toes and take the knees off the mat back into downward facing dog. And then step, jump or walk to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees a lot. Inhale all the way up to the top. Exhale, hands back to heart center. Doing really well, guys. Let's do the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend the knees and fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, long back, long neck. Exhale, hands to the mat, bend the knees. Step the right leg back this time. We're going to drop the back heel onto the mat. Roughly line up the front heel with the middle arch of the back foot. Back foot can be whatever angle suits you best. Nice bend through the front knee, and then windmill the arms up into warrior two. Really pulling that core in, making sure the front knee is stacked, really stretching out through the back leg. Taking the gaze over the front fingertips, stretching out through those fingertips, making your warrior really strong. Really pressing down through the feet, really opening the chest, allowing those shoulder blades to relax. Wherever you're hanging out, see what you can do to tense or tighten those muscles. Flip the front palm. On your next inhale, look up, reach up into reverse warrior. On your exhale, bring the elbow to the front knee and reach the top arm over. On your inhale, come back up into reverse. And then on your exhale, come back into side angle. Inhale as you come up into reverse. And then exhale, come over into side angle. Inhale, come all the way up to warrior two this time. Look out over those fingertips. Get really strong in that pose. Make sure the hips are over the ribs, or over the hips. Really grounding down through those feet. If I came around and pushed on your arms, they wouldn't go anywhere because they're strong. Nice big inhale here. And then exhale, windmill the hands down to frame the front foot. Turn on the toes of the back foot and step back to downward facing. Have a couple of breaths here. And then coming forward into your plank, either take knees, chest, chin, or bring the elbows into your sides and come down to chaturanga. And then either into cobra or upward facing dog. Stretch that chest through. Really feel that long line of energy down the front body and feel the space down the back body so we're not just crunching into our spine. We've got a nice amount of length there. Exhale as you come down to the mat. Tuck the toes, take the hips above the knees. Keeping the hips above the knees. This time inhale the left arm up towards the sky. And as you exhale, bring it through, thread the needle, come down onto your left shoulder and the left side of your head. Then inhaling that right arm up towards the ceiling. Really open the shoulder up towards the ceiling, making this pose as expansive as possible. Nice big inhale here. And exhale. Inhale, really reach up through those fingertips. Then exhale, bring the hand back in front of the face and push yourself back up into tabletop. Tuck the toes, take the hips up into downward facing. Nice big stretch here. Then looking forward, bending the knees, step, walk or jump to the front of the mat. Inhale into a halfway lift, and then exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees and inhale all the way up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward, bending the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, long back. Exhale, fold forward, bend the knees. Step back with the left leg, step back with the right leg. Stretching out into downward facing dog. And then coming forwards, bringing the knees to the floor, untucking the toes. This time we want to keep the hips above the knees. Walk the hands forward and come into extended puppy. So we're really looking at melting that chest and that forehead down towards the floor. Really thinking about the back bend in the body. Trying to make the front body work just as hard as the back body. Keeping a level of engagement in all those muscles and in the core. If it's in your practice and you can go forward further, either bring your mouth and your nose to the floor, really melting the chest, or even maybe your chin. But keep that level of engagement in the muscles. And then lifting your shoulders up, lifting your head up, walk the hands in, take the hips all the way back to the heels, and then walk the fingertips over towards the right and sink down into your child's pose. Now, child's pose you can do with your knees together or with your knees wide. It doesn't matter which, whatever's most comfortable. Just walk those hands round and sink down. Really thinking about sinking down through the sit bones, so getting the breath deep into the body and trying to find that equal stretch down the left side of the body as well as the right side of the body. Stretching the left armpit down towards the floor, seeing that stretch go into the armpit. Maybe walk the fingers a little bit further away if you can't feel that stretch. Good. Then lift your head, come up onto your fingertips and walk those hands all the way over and around to the left. And then come down into child's pose on the left side. So again, thinking about that lengthening through the spine. Think about making sure the sit bones are coming down towards your heels. Stretching the right armpit on this side down towards the floor. If you can't feel that stretch, walk the fingers further away. Nice big inhales. And nice smooth exhales, trying to relax everything down onto the mat. Excellent. Lift the head with your next inhale and then walk the hands back to the center and then all the way in and come up to seated. We're going to find a space in the middle of our mats now, up on our knees. And then keeping the right shin and the right knee on the ground. You can put a cushion under your knee if you have any pain in your knees. Take the left leg out to the side. So it's like a gate pose. Then we'll take the right hand down towards the floor. And with the left hand, sweep it in front of you and then open it up towards the ceiling and really open your chest up towards the ceiling in circle pose. So really think about pressing down through the shin, pressing down through the left foot, pressing the ground away with the right arm, and really opening up through the side body, the whole left side of the body. Pulling the core in, opening that chest. Nice big inhale. On the exhale, see if you can move into the pose even further. Nice big inhale here. On the exhale, sweep that hand back around and then using your core, come back up to center. Excellent, so really deep pose that one. So we'll switch legs. So bring the left leg back in, take the right leg out, really ground down through that foot. So find a position where you can get the whole foot on the ground. Then take the left hand down towards the ground. And this time sweep the right arm across the body, over the head, and open the chest up towards the ceiling into half circle on the other side. You should really feel this down into the side of the body and into the hip. Really opening and expanding that chest towards the ceiling. Pressing the ground away with the left hand. Really grounding down through the foot and the shin. Keeping the neck nice and long. Nice big inhale here. Then on the exhale, sweep that hand back around, and then using the core to come back up and bring the right leg back in. Good stuff. We're going to do one more on each side, because with these things, as your body gets used to them, it can open up a little bit more. So take the left leg back out, really ground down through the foot. Take the right hand down and then swing that left arm in front of the body and really open up the chest towards the ceiling. Just see if it feels any different this time. Nice big inhale, really expand the chest, push the hips forwards. And then on the exhale, pull the core in, sweep back around and come back up to the middle. Bring that left leg in. Take the right leg out, last one. So bringing the left hand down to the mat, really ground down through the shin and the foot, and then sweep that arm in front of you, opening up through the chest, really pushing the hips forwards, really expanding that chest. Keep breathing. Nice big inhale. On the next exhale, sweep that hand back around, allow the hips to come back, and using your core, come back up to center. Good stuff, well done. Bring the hips down, and then just gently reach the hands forward, very slowly and very mindfully, and just have a counter pose in child's pose for a second or two. Couple of restoring breaths here. On the next inhale, lifting your head, and on the exhale, walking yourself back up. It's time for our master posture. So tonight, because we've been doing so much opening of the chest, of the shoulders, and a lot of work on back bends and making that spine really strong, tonight's peak pose is camel. So camel is a really deep back bend, but it's only as deep as you make it, so you choose. Starting, you just bring your hands with your fingertips down and the thumbs on the outside, and literally just stretch the chest up and look up. That's your starter for one. You will get more of a back bend if your knees are wider, but that also encourages us to lose form. So keep them somewhere below the hips, not too wide. So really pressing down onto our lower back, lift up and out of the waist so the spine is long. And then imagining I have a bar across at the bottom of your shoulder blades, try and lift up and over that bar. Really stretching the chest to the ceiling, maybe tucking the tailbone under, really squeezing the glutes, pulling the belly in, looking up, chest expands. Maybe you can go a little bit deeper. Maybe you can drop the head if that's comfortable. And pulling the core in, come back up. Whew. Sit back down and have a little moment to yourself. Sometimes camel pose can make you feel a bit dizzy, especially if we've been doing lots of sitting or lots of flexion of the hips, because it's a really big extension of the hips. I'm going to do another round. You can choose how deep you want to go. So as we come up onto our knees, you can either keep your hands on your lower back, or you can go to hold elbow to elbow and lift up and over those elbows. If you do have a very supple back and it's in your practice, then you can come all the way back and even maybe reach for a heel. But if you're reaching for a heel, keep your hips forward. If your hips have come back here, you're not ready to reach for the heel. You need to be able to keep your hips forward. And then keep that long line of energy down your spine. So the back is as open as you can make it. Trying to get space between those vertebrae. Reaching the chest up towards the ceiling. 3 deep breaths here. However deep you've gone, whatever you've chosen. Then bring the hands to the lower back, pulling the core in really tight. Gently come all the way back up and sit down onto your heels. Once you've taken a nice deep breath, sat on your heels, then walk those hands forward and very gently come into child's pose and have a couple of restorative breaths in child's pose. Excellent. When you're ready, bring your hands coming back towards your knees. So we're coming back into our seated position. Then transitioning however you wish to come down and be laid on our backs on the mat. The body temperature's gone back down, so I just need to put my jumper on. Okay. So, coming back down onto the mat, hugging the knees into the chest, because we've done a lot of back bends today. We're just going to have a little massage into the hips and the lower back. So right hand on the right knee, left hand on left knee, and just circle through the hips. Once you've done a few one way, then take them the other way. Good. Then both hands onto the right knee and stretch the left leg out along the mat. Then really pull the right knee in towards the right armpit. Really creating a lock in the hip, trying to keep the shoulders down on the mat. Really extend through the left foot. The left foot is flexed, the right foot is soft. Really pull that knee in a little bit tighter. And then release it and stretch it all the way along the mat. Then bring the left knee in. Grasp the hands over the left shin and pull the left knee in towards the left armpit. Left foot is relaxed, right leg is engaged, right foot is flexed. Shoulders squeeze together behind your back. Really pull that knee in towards the shoulder. Nice big inhale. On the exhale, release the legs out long. This time, hug both knees in. So maybe curl up slightly, hug your hands over the tops of your knees. You can either grasp your hands, your wrists, somewhere along your forearms, or if you can, your elbows. Get a really nice tight grip, squeeze those knees in, then lay your head back down, lay your shoulders back down, and really squeeze those knees in towards the belly. So the first one was massaging our ascending colon. The second one was massaging our descending colon. And this grasp is massaging our transverse colon. So a nice little internal massage for the belly. One more inhale here, really pulling on those knees a little bit tighter. And then exhale, release the feet down to the mat. Keep the feet on the mat. We're going to do 3 bridge raises. So arms down by the sides of the body. As we inhale, we're going to peel the spine up off the floor, bring the arms with us. Really big, smooth inhale until the arms come above the head and our hips are lifted to their maximum, glutes nice and engaged, inner thighs pulled together. And then exhale, roll the spine bone by bone back down to the mat as you bring the arms back down by the sides. Inhale as we come up. Really trying to articulate every bone of the spine. Really pushing those hips up, engaging those inner thighs, squeezing the knees towards one another, pulling the belly in. And then exhale as we come down. And then inhale as you come up. Really squeezing those hips up, squeezing those legs towards one another. And then exhale as you come down. Okay, final pose before we come into twist and savasana. You can either, if you feel like you need a bit more on the lower back, just to stretch that out, come into baby pose. So happy baby, holding the feet. Doesn't matter on the outside, the inside, or over the toes, whatever suits your anatomy best. Concentrate on trying to get the knees in towards your armpits. If you want to do another back bend and it's in your practice, then bring your feet to the mat and either come into bridge with a bind underneath your shoulders, or if you want to take it further, then come into wheel pose, planting the hands by the side of the head, really stretching the chest forward, opening up the shoulders, opening the chest towards the ceiling, really planting down through the hands and the feet, trying to get an even stretch on the front and back of the body. Whichever pose you are in, gently come out of it, gently rolling the spine back down to the ground or bringing the legs back down to the ground. Taking the hands straight out from the shoulders, press down through the feet, lift the hips up and scoot them over to the right side of the mat and then put them back down again. From here, if you want a good twist down the spine, nice and even, bend the knees in and roll over towards the left. If you want a twist that goes higher into the spine, cross the right foot over the left leg and then twist over towards the left. Your choice. And then look out over the right shoulder. On each inhale, send the breath to any tight spots you may have left in your body. And on each exhale, relax and release everything down onto the mat. Inhale, take a nice big breath, sending that breath into any tight spots. And exhale, relax and release everything onto the mat. Inhale into any final tight spots. And then exhale, relax and release everything onto the mat. Inhale the head back to center. On the exhale, pull the core in and roll the hips back down onto the mat. Untangle the legs if they're tangled. Bring the feet to the floor. Straighten yourself back up. Then take a nice big inhale, lift the hips up off the floor, scoot them over to the left and pop them back down again. Hug the knees into the chest. If you want to take the cross, then cross the left leg over the right this side. And then roll the legs over towards the right and look out over your left shoulder. Nice big inhales in this position, really sending the breath deep into the body. And on every exhale, try and relax into the mat. Inhale into any final tight spots. And then exhale, relax and release all those muscles that have worked so hard this evening. Inhale nice and deeply into the body. And then exhale, completely relax and release. Next, inhale, bring your head to center. On the exhale, pull the core in and roll the hips back onto the mat. Untangle the legs, bring the feet to the floor, straighten yourself back up, and then stretch the legs out long and bring the arms down by your sides for final savasana. Any discomfort in the lower back or any active sciatica, bring the feet to the mat and let the knees fall in. Or if you're more comfortable, you can come into butterfly legs by bringing the soles of the feet together and letting the knees fall out. Tuck the shoulder blades underneath the body. Make sure the back of the pelvis is comfortable on the mat. And just relax onto your mat. Just becoming aware of the breath and how it's moving in and out of the body. whether it's deep or shallow or somewhere in between, whether it's smooth or ragged or somewhere in between. Just watch the breath in its natural rhythm, ebbing and flowing in and out of the body. Notice if you're breathing in through your nose and out through your nose, or maybe in through your mouth and out through your mouth, or maybe a mixture of the two. Notice the temperature of the breath, how it differs on the inhale and the exhale. And start to focus on the breath more intently as we start to take deeper breaths. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, hold, out, hold. And just allow your breath to come back to normal. Watch it as it comes in and out of the body. The whole body completely relaxed on your yoga mat. Gently bringing your awareness back to your body, laid on your mat. Maybe wiggling your fingers or wiggling the toes. Maybe circling through the wrists or through the ankles. Maybe rolling your head to one side, maybe rolling your head to the other side. Move in whichever way your body wants to move, whether it wants to stretch, whether it wants to wriggle, or whether you want to hug your knees into your chest. And when you're ready, come over onto your side and come up into a seated position. And then we'll finish with 3 deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And if you'd like to do lion's breath, then as we exhale, really stretch the chest forward and stick the tongue out of the mouth as you exhale. So all together, nice big inhale. Excellent. Thank you for coming and playing yoga with me this evening. I hope you enjoyed it.